Hello and welcome to Tyranny. Last episode we spoke to Tunon, and we are now having groups of people to speak to here, so let's go with the chorus, Scarlet chorus first. Okay, they don't want to speak to me. Oh, there you go. Blood Mulch, Fatebinder, you're no stranger to Tunon's court, but I prefer to spend as little time here as possible. In spite of this closed wall, I feel strangely exposed. He glances up at Tunon. So good of you to join our little family with the voices. We'll make you feel right at home. You'll make our time in the tears interesting one, won't you? He smiles for an uncomfortably long time. Of course you will. Okay.
I got it.
Other Fatebinders over here. They are my peers. And then we have the disfavored over here. Severus, I am duty bound to remain civil to you in this vaunted court, but do not push it, traitor. Really? That's how you see it? Okay, she ignores me. And this guy. I'm ill at ease at this polished hull, but I admit there's a reprieve from the battlefield and training grounds. If Ash needs me to stay here and represent his interest throughout the occupation, then I'll be up to the task. Alright, so nothing of much use here. Then we have Fatebinders Nunoval, Kallio and Rogalos. Favor, okay. Conrad, you return unscathed and more acclaimed than ever, as seems to be your way. The Fatebinder of War claps your good-natured and with excessive strength on the back. Come, you must regale with me with all your journey is held. I could use a moment of respite between friends. He regards you with a warm, boisterous smile. And word has reached me regarding your negotiation tactics at Apex. I must admit, I'm impressed. You made headway with the southern wretches. If they're open to reason, it would seem they aren't as ignorant as the Archon of War would have us believe. Come, let's speak freely. Okay. Right. I'm curious about Tunon's masks. They can be rather unsettling, can't they? Even to one such as me, but I can assure you the innocent need not fear their objective, emotionless gaze. What of the adjudicator's mask specifically would like to know? I want to know about the silent face. The silent face is the face that Tunon shows to us now, and for that we are fortunate beyond belief. The silent face is the patient face, a face for listening, as Tunon presides over all the matters brought to the court, taking great pains to ensure all sides of an issue are heard. Okay, I want to know about the face of Resolve. Tunon's last known donning of the face of Resolve was the moment he judged and called ruin to half the district in the bastard city. Since then he has ruled our northern tier justly, calmly and with efficient diplomacy. The face that is no more. Tunon is said to have worn a third mask in eons past. I have heard a rumor that the face displeases Kairos and thus was destroyed, as happens to all persons and objects that displease the Overlord. Have you ever seen Tunon's change his masks? In the way that you or I would change our remnant? No, not as much. And yet I have seen the masks shift. They switch without the adjudicator or anyone as much as laying a hand on them. It is not something you can watch unfold. After a time you merely realize it has already happened. And there's work enough for the court that we shouldn't occupy ourselves wondering over mysteries. But let's speak of something else then. Were you singled out to become a Fatebinder? I cannot speak for the other Fatebinders, but I joined the court when I was yet still a boy and an impetus beyond reason. I had been imprisoned with death sentence for the crime of desecrating corpses. He laughs hard and hearty. It was nothing so exciting as you are no doubt imagining. I was merely burning the corpses that awaited burial. Before the local authority could see me to the gallows, the adjudicator claimed me as a great talent waiting to be realized, needing only to be steered. Why burn the bodies? Corpses piling in the streets, spreading plague faster than the filthiest of rats. I was but a 10 and a weak fighter. I did what I could for my homeland. And why is it a crime? There was a time when even the Northmen were suspicious stock, a time before Kairos brought reason to the realms. The people of my city believed that without proper rites, I was cheating our fallen warriors from returning to the land. It was a good thing that Turon spared you, I guess. As I've said, the adjudicator saw within me something of rare value, and it's true for all of us, as you well were chosen for our great court, for which I am grateful. As the Fatebinder of War, I rely heavily on your talents. Alright, so this Nunoval is a friendly fellow, to us at least. Could you remind me of the history and origin of the Fatebinders? The seasoned warrior rubs finger against the line of his subtle line of stubble across his cheek. You are relatively younger order, though we have spanned these past 2 centuries with the voices of Nerath and Graven Ash need armies to execute their will. Tunon wields but a modest court of vassals. We exist as the extension of his law, and there's no place in all of the Terratus beyond our judgment. Tell me more about Kairos' armies, our allies. Ah yes, with friends like these, our work is often self-explanatory. You were asking about the Scarlet Chorus or the disfavored? I guess Scarlet Chorus. Scarlet Chorus soldiers hail from every corner of the realm. Yada yada yada. Okay, yeah. So I knew that. Disfavored, I guess, is me organized. Iron Tip of Christ. Great Phalanx, yada yada yada. Well, I sort of knew that, I think. I've claimed the Spire at Vengeance Will. Apparently I have. Not that I did, but apparently I have. So the court's whispers are true. The Fatebinder rubs his fingers along the underside of his chin, pondering his thoughts with great weight. After a moment he offers you a wishful sort of smile. Someday I would like to witness it for myself, this tower that has arisen above the realm like a blade thrust into the sky. I would hear of your past victories in the war or of recent events. Have you not yet tired of my tales, Conrad? I do admit I never tire of telling them. He laughs, hearty and deep. Very well then, let me champion the feats of my conquest. Let the glory of Kairos' reign fall on any ears that would hear of it. Certainly the highest honor bestowed upon me was the right of proclamation, when Kairos decided to punish the disfavored for the refusal to sally forth and finish off the unbroken of Stalwarth. I was chosen to read the edicts of storms. Those killing winds of dust, grit and swords will rage across the fallen Stalwarth until the ruling regents are broken. They will call the Rainblade grave these days. If you ever visit, you will no doubt realize why. Nunoval lets out a chuckle. Evidently one or more of the regents persist in living. Alright. Kallio. Conrad, I see you return to the fold. Your exploits in Vengeance Wells are the matter of some discussion. The Fatebinder of Balance regards you with discerning eye, and for a moment you feel as if she's trying to peer into the very depths of your mind. Okay, what can I do for you? Has anything happened while I was away? Rugalos traveled to Velum's citadel to secure the archives for our gracious overlord. The sages there proved more stubborn than we anticipated, so Rugalos was forced to proclaim Kyrus' Edict of Fire, consuming the citadel in a gulf of eternal flames. A sad affair. Ow. Okay, how have you occupied your time in the bastard city? And number 2 seems a bit direct right now. Tunon sends me on assignments here and there. I settle disputes between the locals when the adjudicator is otherwise occupied. She smirks. Everything from trade disagreements to punishing chorus squatters out of the basement. Real rewarding work. I'd like to know more about Tunon. Tunon is our warlord's fair and exacting adjudicator. He speaks with the voice of Kyrus' law, and his words is judgment. You seem to know much about my actions. Have you been spying on me? This is gonna go badly, I think. Don't act so surprised. It's my duty to ensure that those who operate under the adjudicator's name adhere to the spirit of his laws, if not the very letter. Of course, I have nothing to hide, I guess. At least not yet. So you say, but I have to weigh all evidence presented before me with an objective eye. Assume you're being watched, Fatebinder, but don't concern yourself. That is no more than any citizen of the Empire can expect. I have some concerns about the war. You're free to share them in my confidence. She leans in closer. Right, our armies squabble at each other's throat. Divided we cannot win. That I would agree on, at least. I'm less concerned about the armies than the archons themselves. There can be no order when the mountains collide. Who would you see as champion? In this favor, our leap troops will bring us to victory. The Scarlet Chorus and the ruthlessness will win the war. Neither, they're both at fault, equally inept. Yeah, I was really disappointed when the disfavored actually decided to attack and didn't just follow suit here. But I'll lean toward disfavored here. There's wisdom behind your reasoning. Wars are won through cunning and strategy and strength. The disfavored are outmatched only in numbers on the battlefield. Considering their opposition, Ash and his soldier more than make up the difference. Alright, and farewell. And we have one more to speak to. Rogalos. Fatebinder, you return. Rogalos looks you up and down with an inscrutable expression. You look as if you have questions for me to untangle. Ask, I'm feeling generous. Tell me about some of the past archons. Much that was known has been lost regarding the first archons of Frost, but his talents were improved upon by 3 following archons, sisters born together and never since been seen apart. It is said that Drana, Nirabel and Slayer were so cold at birth that they were thought stillborn. Where did you study when you were younger? I've been a ward at the court for as long as I've been aware. As a child, I demonstrated wholly perfect recall and absorbed all that Tunon and my tutors had to offer. I remember hating all the lectures and wishing I could learn at my pace. Funny how I envied the sages of the Tears, how they could spend their whole lives reading and never exhaust their library. What do you think about the other Fatebinders? You need to be more specific than that, I'm afraid. There's on the last count slightly more than a handful of us. Fatebinder War. Nunwal's keen brash and hearty braggart with a fondness for bloodshed. He can be utterly unbearable at times. His justice is fair, even if he skews towards rather exacting and uncompromising punishment at times. Balance. Kallio is the finest among us. Her discernment is beyond reproach, and she is perhaps two nuns' favorite. She has a mind for suspicion and observation that makes others uneasy. We who operate within the confines of the law have nothing to fear, of course. And your opinion on me. I have pondered your impulsive nature. It vexes me constantly. Your support of the Scarlet Chorus only affirms my belief that you are among the more severe and unpredictable members of our office. Right? What can you tell me about the Old Walls and the Bane? Old Walls. We know little enough about the ancient structures, save that they predate all historical records. The forbidding ruins crisscross the Tiers and the North alike centuries before we raised our cities. The only one old enough to guess is likely Kairos. Tell me about Bane. The Bane are found in the Old Walls, but much of their defining quantities still escape me. They're creatures of smoke, claw and fang. If you find yourself uncomfortable enough to fight one, remember that spells are effective against them, but grab the attention of others lurking near. Okay, let's discuss something else. I'd like to know more about the Tiers. The political entities of the Tiers are essentially split between the Bastard Tier, the Younger Realms, and the Free Cities. Which would like to know? Bastard Tier. The Bastard Tier is the most northern of the Tiers and was the first to bow to Kairos' reign. Though the knee bent fell unwillingly, Kairos had his eye on the Bastard Tier for many years before he marched on her capital city. Younger Realms. The Younger Realms sprawl the middle and southernmost tiers and can be catalogued as follows: Apex, Azure, Haven, and Stalworth. Azure was renowned for its exceptionally fertile land, which fed the whole of the Tiers. That was before Kairos' Edict of Stone blighted the land. Okay, Free Cities. There are 3 free cities remaining: Lost Harbor, Spiral Maw, and Barris in chains. The first and the strongest of the free cities was the Setting Suns, which Kairos crushed in 429 with the Edict of Tumult. After that, the remaining free cities were quick to surrender. And talk about sages. I will not speak of the sages. They are no better than charlatans and cons, wholly selfish in their ill pursuits, to hoard all knowledge from others. They are self-blinded by their own deceptions and clever manipulations. They alone caused their own undoing and are solely to blame for the burning library, one of the most grievous wrongs in the known histories for which they can never be forgiven. Alright, there's a lot of information here. I guess we are heading outwards. Is anyone over here we can speak to? No, not really. Yeah. This very hangman needs for singing about the Graven Ash. A bit harsh. Anyway, can we get out here? Oh, what happens? Bled and Mark. Welcome back, kid. Amusing as it would have been to watch the edict drop, I guess I'm glad you lived. Bled and Mark, Archon of Shadows, rouses from a faraway stare, turning to face you with a wry smile. Though he stands still, he seems to shift in and out of the shadows that shroud him. I see. And he's not happy. Sided with the Scarlet Chorus, huh? You like secrets and trickery. The Archon gives you a long stare punctuated at the end of a snort sneer. You don't need morals to win war. Time was of the essence, but Ash was slow to act. I sided with the Archon that could ensure our survival. What is with you, Archon of the Elderly? Time was of the essence, I guess. Go with that one. It's not surprising that he'd be cautious. Ashen's legions has warred without reinforcements for years. Unlike the Voices, when his soldiers die, his army dwindles. Imagine you're off to meet with the Voices for, well, whatever he has in mind. But first, you and I need to have a little chat. Okay, I'm listening. Everyone's keeping an eye on you because you did something nobody has done before. Gotta guess to that what that might be. I'm the first Fatebinder to engage in a war against my allies' soldiers. No. The first Fatebinder to proclaim 2 edicts. The first to resolve edict before the consequences came to pass. I'm the first Fatebinder to awaken a spire of the old walls. I guess that's the one we'll go for. You're not wrong, there was definitely a shock, but I doubt it's the sole reason you made the tears tremble. Proclaiming an edict isn't new, neither is surviving or resolving the commandments of an edict, but you're the first to proclaim and resolve the very same edict, and it didn't kill you. I see. In one fell swoop, you survived your second edict, resolved the very one you had proclaimed, and woke an arcane structure that has been slept for several centuries. Okay. And now I go on your list, short list of people who stand out as potential problems. More or less, mostly more. He offers you a dangerous grin. I don't care what you do with the information, but you should know the danger you're in now, that you put yourself on the map. Okay, bled and mark, that's at least nice of you. When you're dealing with the Voices, don't forget that he'll be doing everything he can to figure out what makes you different and how he can use it for his own gains. Thank you for the advice, I guess. The Archon of Shadows shrugs to you in farewell, but his golden eyes alight with interest as he watches you. Alright.
Yes.
Right, I will take a break here and carry on in the next episode. Thank you very much for watching.